everyone, welcome to 1.2, the example problem. Let's read the example problem. This data set shows the number of people who attended a movie theater over a period of 16 days. And here are the numbers. I'm not going to read them all. We have to do the following things. Part A, find the measures of center. That's mean, median, and mode. And Part B, the theater's management wants to compare its attendance to that of other theaters in the area. Which measure of center best represents the data? Alright, so before we do Part B, let's find the measures of center and then figure out which one represents the data the best. So what I'd like to do is I want to look at these numbers and we want to put them in order, because if I want to find the median, it's really hard to do this way. Alright, so I'm going to do something called a stem and leaf plot. Stem and leaf. I tried to do this a different way and I got really confused because I missed some stuff when I was trying to write the numbers in order. So this makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to start with the stem part of this is just the numbers, the tens place. So I've got some zeros. I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. I see 90 is my highest one. So I'm going to start with 0, 10. So the 0 is the tens place. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. Alright, so I'm just going to put a line here. Alright, that way I can kind of separate my 10 spot from my 1's spot. Alright, so I'm going to just put this kind of right there. Looks good. And then I'm going to go through and just going to put these in order. So 14 is my first one. So I'm going to do 1, and I'm just going to put the 4 because this means 14. So I'm not going to have to rewrite the whole thing. Now I'm going to put in 23. I'm just going to do 3, so I've got 2, 3. Now I'm going to put in 10. So this goes back in this spot, so I'm not going to write on 0, I have the 1 here, so I've got 4, and I have a 0. And I've got 21, so I'm going to put a comma, a 1. So this 1 really represents 21. I've got a 7, so that just goes in the 0, 10s, and a 7. I've got 80, so it goes 8, 0. I've got 32, so the 2 goes here. I've got 30, so that means I'm going to put a 0 here. I've got a 92, so the 92 goes there. 14 is going to be 1, 4. Okay, even though there's already a 4 here, there's more than one data point that is 14, so I have to make all multiples. Remember, if we want to use the mode, that's the one that occurs the most often, so we do have to have them all show up. So the next one is 26, and we had 21, so we're going to go there, 26. I've got another 21, so I'm going to put a 1 here. I've got a 38, so I'm going to put the 8 over here. I've got a 20, so I'm going to put a 0 here. I've got a 35, so that's going to go here. And our last one is 21. So just looking at this quickly, it looks like the most numbers are in the 20s, then the 30s, then the teens, then 0, 80s, and 90s. All right. So now that I've done this, it's going to be a little bit easier for me to separate my data, because now I can look at just the ones that have the 0 for a 10s and look at the 10s and then look at the 20s and put them in order. So that way I can put these in order maybe a little bit faster. So I'm going to start off by putting these in order. So I've got 7, then I've got 10, 14, 14. So I'm going to write 10, comma, 14, comma, 14. Alright, so I've got all those. Then I have 20, 3 21s, and I can't remember all this. I'm going to write them down. 20, and I've got 3 21s. Alright, I do. And then I have a 23 and a 26. 23, 26. Okay, then I've got a 30, a 32, 35, 38. So now I'm going to write those. 30. My next one is 32. My next one is 35. My next one is 38. And then I finally have the last two, 80 and 92. So I've got 80 and 92. Okay, so we know that we have 16 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to follow the median first, because I think that's going to be the easiest to look at. So I'm going to count 16 days total. So this is day 1, this is day 16 in some order. I'm just going to count 8 in. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 8 from the left. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from the right. So that means the median, because there are two numbers, I'm going to add them up and divide by 2, or it's just the number in the middle. So the median is going to be 22. Alright, next let's do the mode, because that's also pretty easy. I've got 21, 21, 21. I've got 3 21s. Let's just do this in blue. I've got 3 21s right here. Okay, I've got 2 14s, 1 7 1 2 1 3 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Okay, so that means 21 is the mode because it occurs 3 times. All right, and lastly, what we have to do is we have to find the mean, which is going to be slightly annoying, but I think we can do it. So we're going to use this, and we're going to just use our calculator. This is my graphing calculator, so I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. That way I can see all of my numbers. I'm going to just scrunch, oops, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to scrunch this a little bit so that way I can see all of my numbers. I can't quite see all of them, so I'm going to move it up just a little bit if I can. There they are. Oh, come on, you. Alright, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take this, all of my numbers here, and I'm going to move them down a little bit so that way I can see them. Okay, so then now I have all of them. Remember, finding the mean just means adding all of them up. So I'm going to move this over just a little bit so we can see the entire thing. So I've got 7 plus 10 plus 14 plus 14 plus 20 plus 21 plus 21 plus 21 plus 23 plus 26 plus 30 plus 32 plus 35 plus 38 plus 80 plus 92. All right, so I get 475, and is that my mean? No, of course not. I have to take that number and I have to divide it by 16. And I get an answer of 29.6875. Now looking at that number, 29.6875, does that seem to fit my data? Well, 29.685 is somewhere in between here. Does that seem to be kind of like a mean? Well, we have some pretty high numbers over here, so I bet it's going to be higher than my median or my mode because we had 2 days that were really big. So I'm guessing that the mean is going to be there. It's not like it's way over at 80 or down by 2 or something like that. It seems to be reasonable within my data. All right, so we have 29.6875. Well, that doesn't really make sense because we're talking about the number of people. So let's round it to the nearest person, and let's make that, rounding this to the nearest person, 6 is closer to, it's up, so we're going to round up, and that makes it, mean is about, say squiggly lines, squiggly equal sign means about 30 people. All right, so the theater's management wants to compare its attendance with that of other theaters in the area. Which measure of center best represents the data? The numbers that best, or the measure of central tendency that best describes the data, best represents the data, is probably not going to be the mean. Do you know why? What numbers are included in the mean that made it kind of go higher than all the others? These two out here, 80 and 92, those are way higher than all the other 14 data points. What we call these things is we call them outliers. And how we exactly find them will be a subject of a later video. But 80 and 92 are outliers. They're kind of saying like these might have been like movie premieres or like big name blockbuster movies that a lot of people want to see on one night or something like that, and all the other ones seem to kind of follow what the movie theater normally does. So I would think the mean would not really be a good option for part B. So either we could use the median, which kind of just treats this as a regular number. 92 is just like any other data point. It doesn't add weight to it because it's such a large number. Or we could say, or the mode. The mode might be nice as well because it's the most often how many people show up. So most often people show up is 21. And these two numbers are really close together, so they seem like they'd probably be pretty good numbers. All right, there you go. Good luck on your homework.